20 to 30 seconds to kick in before. So when I watch the playbacks, I kind of review them. It'll, uh, it'll all of a sudden kick in as I'm talking. So I'm just going to give a minute for maybe a couple of you to get in here and for the audio to actually kick in. I'll give it till 30 seconds. So, and then I'll do my welcomes. Welcome everyone. I'm going to do a quick channel update and I hope you all are having a great summer. It's been about 100 degrees where I am, but it does cool off at night, so that's nice. And so I hope you guys are staying cool where you are. Yeah, let's see here. So I did say I was going to get back on to do the Outer Planets series that we're doing a few weeks ago. That was during Mercury retrograde. And here I am a few weeks later. I've been every day going, okay, I'm going to get on tomorrow. Okay, I'm going to get on later today. And it just hasn't happened. As you guys who are my clients may or may not know that, of course, if I'm giving life advice, then I'm going to be thriving in different areas of my life. But, with thriving takes responsibility. So I have a lot on my plate. But I love getting on here and chatting about astrology with you guys and giving you my insights. Like I said, I'm going to be coming out with an astrology versus astronomy video very soon. That'll be pre-recorded. But we're right now doing the lives where we're going over Liz Green's book about the outer planets. And we're on lecture 4. We're at like the very end of it, I believe. And I wanted to do it today, but I'm going to be spending the whole day at the lake tomorrow because I haven't even really gotten to do that all summer. So I will be on Tuesday or Wednesday to do the outer planets again because I know some of you have actually been, following that. So I hate leaving you hanging on that. And I'm also starting like a 4th job early September. And it was kind of like put on my doorstep, and so I'm like, okay, we'll see, because it sounds pretty cool. So I have at least three careers, and now I'm starting another little part-time like 12-hour a week job. So that definitely through the winter, I mean, I'm hoping to be on here with you guys, but it doesn't always happen. So I take long breaks, so I'm trying to finish up that book before early September. So I might be on quite a bit next week going over the Outer Planet series. So if you've been following along and waiting and you're like, she disappeared again, cross your fingers. I mean, life happens. It may be not at all, but I'm hoping at least maybe 2 or 3 times next week we probably won't finish it next week, but at least then we could get, to where even if I'm getting really busy, we can wrap it up in September and not wait another 6 months. Hi. Okay, I'm trying to read your names. Ilion the goat, or La Goat, are you a Capricorn, I wonder? Hi, Parker. Hi, Mr. X. Thank you, Ilion. So I'm going to pull a card for you guys, but I also wanted to tell you they made the database, the Divine Timing database. It's our dating app. I've been helping them develop it. So they made it free now to enter to use the matchmaker. So you just pick like the silver membership. So if you go to divinetimingdatabase.org, or if you don't want to spell that all out, you go to moonmatch.love. All the links are below, I believe. And there's an Android app. The Apple one is coming out very soon, but they just added a bunch of new locations, like a location matching system. So before you could only choose like to find matches in your continent, like if you were in Asia or the United States or Australia. Now there's every country in the world on there, and you can also choose if you want to search globally, if you want to search by your country, and also for the United States. So far, they'll be adding like Canadian provinces and all, so there is an option for the United States. They could have put cities on. I told them not to do that quite yet because there's not quite enough people in there. I feel like 100,000 people isn't quite enough for you guys to be matching by city yet because it's pretty spread out. So do check it out. There's a bunch of new location preferences and things like that, and now they even let you go and kind of search by location. So they just did that, and they're still working on the Apple app. So definitely, go and enter. I also believe now, before you would get like an email if a match wrote you a message. Now they fixed it so that you'll get an email when you get a match. So if you go enter your birth details and time and all of that, and if you don't know your time, there's special instructions for that too. And I even narrated the video where I kind of walk you through how to use it. But if you don't know how, like if you enter it and you don't have a match and you don't want to search, like say you choose that you want to search within your country and you choose the United States, but somebody matches with you globally, they can still search you, if that makes sense. So it's like how far they're casting their net. They might be willing to move, to be with you or something like that. Or they might be able to have the resources to move you to them. I don't know. So there's sort of a lot of different options in there. But there's a way more options now than there was before. Before it was just like the seven continents, not Antarctica so much, but it was something like that. So, please, Elian, what are you asking me here? Oh, yeah, I can't give you my number because I am in a relationship currently, and he wouldn't appreciate that. Uh, all right, cool, Parker. Yeah, so definitely check it out. But what I was rambling on about is now if you enter your details and someone matches with you, it'll actually let you know you have a match, and you can go in there and look at the astrology, especially for those of you who are most of my subscribers. I'm sure you like astrology, so that's all we really talk about here for the most part. You can go in and check out just sort of the synastry and decide if you want to talk to them, but now you don't have to wait for them to message you. So if somebody goes through and they match with you and they want to message you, that's great. You'll get an email notification of their message, but now it will tell you that you got a match when you're not, like, say you walk away for like a year. So we are working on making it more and more user friendly. I've been a big part of this sort of concept in developing it, but it does take a village to develop something this big. So do be sure to check it out. It's moonmatch.love is the easiest way to get there. And you can, if you have Android, it'll even give you, I use mostly Apple, but I have some Android stuff, and it'll actually give you the banner to download the app. But you can try to search it on, I mean, you can search it, but then you got to spell out the whole thing. It's a long name, Divine Timing Database. Like, it's a lot to spell. So I like the moonmatch.love shortcut. It's kind of like moonmatch.com, but .love instead. And that's what we're doing. We're matching people by their moon signs primarily. And then we eliminate all the malefic, like divorce aspects that we see. Some couples can make it with those aspects, but usually it's a lot more challenging. And most of the time when you're finding happy and harmonious relationships, they do not have, squares to Saturn and things like that. Those are usually the much more challenging relationships that people end up having these terrible divorces. So, all right. All right, I'm going to pull a card or two for you guys. I was just hopping on to let you know that I am coming back. I am thinking of you guys. I'm sort of like a all or nothing kind of person. So it's either I'm on here and we're churning stuff out, and then I'm MIA again. So, don't worry, I didn't forget you. And a lot of times lately, I'm sitting there writing back to your guys' comments, which I love. And usually it's those of you that actually know synastry really well. So you're going, okay, well, here's what I think of, like on my short for Love at First Sight video has been getting a lot of comments. So we've been kind of discussing the outer planets with that a little bit as well. But there is a full length one, and I did link it in there, So I just feel like I know that a lot of you that subscribe to me do know your synastry. So if you are single and you go on moonmatch.love, you can check it out. So we also had the celebrities in there, right? We had celebrity matches, but and this is something like there's a team working on. It's going to be like separate now, right? Because so you have the free private database, and this is all on Divine Timing database. I always say database.com. You have like the stars one where you can just run your compatibility report with whoever you want for free. Then you got the matchmaker, which is what you do through Divine Timing database.org, and that's where you can find like matches with strangers, like ideal matches. And then you have the free private database where you can save all your birth charts, everyone's birth charts. So there's a lot on there if you go check it out. So you can go to, the links are all below again, but you can go to divinetimingdatabase.com, and there's a lot of people in there too. Like, you guys are signing up every day for that. And I know because I use all these like free tools online. I have deeper software, but then I have to open like my Windows computer for that. So sometimes if I'm not home and I want to look up a chart, especially if I have a client and I need to look up a chart, I use free sites too, but the free private database thing is really cool. It's on divinetimingdatabase.com. So divinetimingdatabase.org is the dating app, and divinetimingdatabase.com is primarily the free database. So and you can actually find all the links at the .com up in the menu for the dating app and the compatibility report, and also just looking up the transits right now, you can click on that. So I love it. I use it all the time when I'm working with clients just to see what's going on. Like, even right now, I'm a little detached from, what sign, what planets are in, because I've been so busy. And it's like when I need to know, though, I'm going to go and look at the sky right now, and see. So it's pretty cool. Now I'm just like, because I'll have a thought and then yeah. But Three of Cups here, so this is a social gathering. A lot of you, it is the end of summer. Labor Day is next weekend, at least in the United States. I don't know if you guys celebrate Labor Day all around the world. Let me know. So, a lot of us will be socializing and having a nice time. This too, I didn't notice this before, and some readers, and you guys, I'm somewhat oblivious sometimes, might see this as the moon here. Everybody congregating under the moon, but you almost could look at it like the sun going down, like the sun setting on the summer, and everyone kind of coming out for one last hurrah. That's what I'm getting. It's a very peaceful, harmonious energy, so I really like that. We have the Ace of Wands here, so this is initiating new things. I don't know about you guys, but I've always felt, and this could be, of course, my moon in Virgo, that Virgo season, September, was a great time to start school, as a kid and stuff, because that's when I'd get really organized. I want to organize my binders and label everything. And it would really set me up for, the middle of the year when I didn't feel like doing much. So I do feel like the Ace of Wands is giving everyone a little burst of energy here, even though we are in sort of a earth season, which can be a little more down to earth. Virgos are probably the busiest of the earth signs because they are Mercury ruled. So I do feel like a lot of people will be getting a lot done right now. Or if you, it's, they say spring cleaning, right? And I was actually joking with my coffee lady the other day. I'm like, I think it might have been the manager there who's a guy, but I said to one of them, because I go there every day, it's like I'm having a late spring cleaning right now. So I feel like some of you might have a little burst of energy with Virgo season to get really organized and prepare for the winter. The Lovers here, this is also, I'm getting a heavy Mercury energy, even though thank God Mercury retrograde's over. So the Lovers, some of you could be making some big decisions right now. I also feel like it is cuffing season coming up, so it's like whoever you're meeting at the barbecue at the end of the summer, if you get invited to a barbecue, definitely go, because that might be who you're hooking up with, that soulmate coming in for the winter, for those of you who are single. Or it could be this congregation right now and you hearing about, the Astrology Synastry Dating App for the first time. So, might be, this little congregation we're having, you go and you find your divine counterpart, the Lovers. Where'd it go now? And I saw the Ace of Wands on the bottom of the deck. We have the Ten of Pentacles here too. So it's a good time if you're not, a lot of you are going to have money coming in that you've been waiting for, but it's a good time to start planting those seeds that will come to fruition. Like I said, Virgo season, and I might be a little biased because I have strong Virgo in my chart, is a good time to plant seeds in the earth. It's an earth sign, and it's it's mutable, so it's adaptable. So it's a good, because a lot of times, and I'm not going to call it other signs here, but if it's a fixed earth sign, you guys know who you are, you might be a little more stuck on what you want. But if it's a mutable earth sign, it could be, and even for you like Tauruses and fixed earth signs, Virgo season you really tap into and connect with. So it actually probably work more in your favor if you're a Taurus. But for all of us, it's a good time to sort of open ourselves up to what is, I know what I don't want. What is it that I do want? So I was talking to my friend in LA the other day about something that's been kind of on my mind, and I said, I don't even know what I really want anymore in certain regards. Of course I'm doing a lot of things and I know what I want, but like some of the things I used to want are what I want anymore. And he's kind of telling me about the Joseph Murphy book, which I had just started reading again, that which I seek is seeking me. And I said, and it reminded me of the affirmation, and it's law of attraction, Esther Hicks, but it's, I know what I don't want. Now, what is it that I do want? Because it's like, okay, when you don't know what you want and you're all confused and you're stuck in the now, and you're trying to plant these seeds, right? But you can't plant seeds. I mean, you can technically, but are you gonna really like seed your garden with what you don't know? I mean, that could be kind of fun. Some of you, I'm sure, are like that. Maybe even me on certain days, but would you like to plant your garden with seeds and you don't know what they're going to be, and now they're all going to be intertwined and it's going to be a huge mess that you have to weed out? Or do you want to go, okay, I want these flowers to be along the perimeter of my garden, and then I want the vegetables to be over here. So it's a really good time for all of us during Virgo season, especially with that 10 of Pentacles coming up here. That's what the message is that I'm getting, to go, figure out what you want and set your intentions. And it's stumbling over sort of the fixed earth sign thing is to weed out, where you're being stubborn and stuck, releasing old ideals and ideas that you have about things, and just getting really clear, and on like I do think ends goals are better than means goals, but the end goal, even though there's a lot of moving parts here is the 10 of Pentacles, right? So all those means goals along the way, like, okay, you achieve this, you achieve this, you achieve this. That's how you get to have it all, the 10 of Pentacles. So this is a message coming through for me from the tarot. I love this deck. It's a newer deck. My cousin gave me a gift card to a really cool bookstore here in town, like on a really cool, like little old school district with like a cool theater. And there's like a, I'm not going to give away where I am by saying this, but there's like a little restaurant with sort of a, what do they call that? A landmark that's been in like movies and stuff. Hi, hi, Dre, sweetheart. I almost looked like I said Dr. Sweetheart. Hi, Dre. Thank you for joining us. Do be sure to like and subscribe. Like I said, we're going to be going over the Outer Planets book. It's sort of a book study on a Liz Green book. She's an astrologer, and now the site's not coming to me. She's actually created some really cool horoscope websites. Can't remember what it's called right now. And she's been around forever. She's still around. And her book that we're going over in the book study, The Outer Planets and Their Cycles, is $200 on Amazon. So we're going over as sort of a book study, and I do ramble on a lot about my thoughts about the outer planets. Like I said, we've been kind of just commenting the last week or two on the Love at First Sight short about the outer planets in synastry, you know, the romance aspects. This is a little bit more general. It's not so much about romance, even though that's what I specialize in. So if you ever want a reading from me, you know, about love, money, anything, you can get readings from me at rotation411.com. There's like, you know, little $15, $20 tarot readings where I respond to you in a video, or you can chat with me as well. There's packages. We can even Zoom. So that's all in there. Or you can order a big astrology package where I spend like all my free time for like a few days just going over all your charts with your people, and really, and then I'll record you a video, or we can get on the phone, whatever you want, and I can go over it, and you can record the phone call too and go over it like house by house and aspect by aspect what your birth chart means for you, you know. Or you can also do it with a lover, like if there's, you know, your wife and you just really want to know them better, or your husband, or it's, you know, an ex that you're like, why can't I get over this person? We can go over like every single chart, your birth chart, their birth chart, your synastry chart, your composite chart. So I have packages like that. So anything, you know, any style of reading you want is on there, and that's pretty much how you're going to get my attention the best. But lately I've been commenting back to your, like I'm saying, the YouTube videos. And so my guy and I will be making dinner. He's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm answering a client. And I'm like playing it off like I'm answering a client, like I do for the platforms I work for, because I'm always following up with them as well. But it's really just me commenting on the YouTube videos. So it is fun. Like sometimes it's like they say, do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. Well, I do this, and then I do like 3 other things so I can challenge myself, because this is like, it's not easy because I'm always learning and growing, but it's like, it's too much fun sometimes to be an astrologist. And so people that I meet in my regular life, or that I run back into, because I've been taking a hiatus to my hometown, they're like, what do you do? And now I just get to the point where I just say, I'm a consultant, because I don't want to, like, if, you know, people, some religious people and stuff, astrology is a, you know, and then even my scientific atheist friends, astrology is a pseudoscience to them. So it's like, I don't even outcast myself anymore. It's like, I do my pocket thing. We all love it over here, you know, like attracts like in the law of attraction. So it's like, I don't want to put that bad energy on it. So I'm just like, I'm a consultant. And then like people are like, what, plenty of fish? And I'm like, no, I use my brain, but I don't judge anyone. I was thinking about that too, about judgment. Because you know, I'll sit here and have narratives and dialogue in my head about what I want to talk to you guys about, and try to kind of organize my thoughts before I hop on, or when I can't hop on, but I really want to. And so there was something I was thinking about. Oh, so like I made the narcissist video, right? Like, you know, how could you maybe identify a narcissist in astrology? And I told you guys you can't, you know, no one thing is going to, and still people got offended. But I said, you know, there may be certain placements that you might find more of a concentration of them, right? Or more traits, because we all have the traits. We live in a society that rewards that. That's why most narcissists are very successful. That's why people will come to me sometimes and go, why don't you have a bigger following? Well, being an empath isn't as popular. When you're vulnerable, you know, I mean, I learned in a communication class, like saying you're nervous, that your audience will forgive you. But when you're too vulnerable, people see that as weakness, right? So they like to follow strong people, you know. And our empaths also have very strong narcissistic traits too, because we learn to fight fire with fire in some ways. And I even hate, you know, say an empath or whatever. All I know is I'm a highly sensitive person, always have been, like lights, everything, so I'm very tuned into energy. And that isn't always a good thing, being highly sensitive. You can be in an environment that's overstimulating and be kind of rude to people because you just need to get away from them. So I'm not saying being an empath, or a highly sensitive person makes you superior to anyone. I know a lot of HSPs that are very neurotic too, just like myself in their own way. So I, by no means, it becomes almost this like, they'll say like the dark empaths are the worst. It becomes almost like this badge of honor. It reminds me of, I can't remember what book it is now. It might be Napoleon Hill or it might be the Joseph Murphy book. Power of Your Subconscious Mind, which again, I said I'm reading again, is like there's no virtue in poverty, right? So a lot of us, especially if we come from sort of different kinds of backgrounds that I don't know. So like a lot of times you see wealthy entitled people or like narcissistic people and you're like, how do they just do it so unapologetically? Like you'll literally see them just rob people clean and and then the person that they robbed clean in a divorce or their house or whatever is like people are looking down on them for not locking their doors or whatever. But this narcissist, they're still like respecting, right? And you go, how does that work? And it just like now I lost my train of thought on it. I had something profound to say about it, but it's the things we idolize and glorify aren't always good for us, or the things we crave, or the things that tempt us. um so being real and being vulnerable isn't always glamorous, and it doesn't really make you superior to anyone, because even these superior people, right, a lot of people can see through them and despise them. So it's very, they're very polarized as well. So I think being being too sensitive or being too strong can, it just depends on who's looking at you and what their perspective is, right? So I'm trying to say, when I label myself in these certain ways, it's just to get my point across without having to elaborate. It's not because I'm going, oh, I'm an empath. Because there's a lot of that out there. And oh, like I said, the dark. So there's narcissists, that use that as a badge too. I mean, I was watching Dr. Romney, who I love, and so she's saying, you know, like the vulnerable narcissist and how they say these things, and I'm going, oh my gosh, but then they say, if you think you could be one, you could. So I'm just going, we do learn to fight fire with fire. Even empaths can be pretty narcissistic. And again, because they've had to battle that, they're the pickings, and there's things like reactive use. But my point is so I say all these things like about this, and I say that, oh, what are the aspects and the signs and what people might have in their chart. But I was thinking, I still, if you come to me as a client, because I was thinking like, and this is sort of my epiphany, what I was thinking and wanted to tell you guys, so I'll just get it out here. A big percentage of the population are narcissists, undiagnosed, most of them, and it runs our society. And so I always say, like, I can deal with one, like, beautifully, unless it's like romantic and intimate. That's when it can really destroy you. Or work, when I was younger, it could be really tough. But that's actually how I learned to deal with it in the workplace, by working for one. I got really good at letting things slide off my back. I was always like kind of a pushover in my jobs, and I never wanted to ask for a day off. And then I worked for a narcissist for a few years, and I quit, and I came back, and I quit, and I came back. And over those times, I realized like really how to deal with him well, and so I'll never have that problem in the workplace again either. Now I pretty much own like 3 businesses and don't have to, and I'm part of a corporation and part of, this and that. And I pretty much don't have to have a boss. I just have to meet my responsibilities, pay my taxes, and my rent for my spaces, and I'm fine. Follow the laws of like one of my trades. There's some, licensing and laws, but as long as I'm insured and bonded and licensed, I don't have a boss. So what I'm saying to you guys is, you can have that freedom, but if you have a narcissistic boss right now in the workplace that you're dealing with that's just making you miserable, well, come get a reading from me, or go get a reading, or go to, do BetterHelp or something, and give yourself that support, to get through it. But it's teaching you something, right? So I always see these videos on YouTube. And so the point of the matter is even if you are a narcissist, diagnosed or not, or you don't care if you are or not, you're still a great client for me. I've had clients that, I don't have that many, to be honest, because I just don't think they're drawn to me. Usually, to be honest, but I was thinking, like, if you're a narcissist, even say you're diagnosed, because I was thinking about how, like, some of these sociopaths are making videos now, and they're like, I'm a sociopath, and this is how I manipulate people. I'm like, I've actually had in, and not even just in the astrology trade, usually in astrology, like say I have a narcissistic client come to me, I'm not thinking of them as that, right? I'm not going, when I'm reading the tarot and kind of tapping into their energy. Hi Hamza Khan. Sorry I didn't see you up there. Hi, how are you? Okay, I'm not thinking like, okay, if you come to me and you order a reading, and I have plenty of clients on the platform, so you don't, I'm not here to say come read from me, but I'm just giving you, if you want to get a reading, ever rotation411.com if you want to connect with me. But if you're coming to me as one, I'm not sitting here reading the cards going, are you one or aren't you one, or judging you. I don't judge. So if you are one, I still want to read for you. I still want to help you with your problems. And when I hear that in you, which honestly, I thought about it, I probably have, so right, it's a big percentage of the population. Let's say it's 5%. That means 5% of my clients are narcissists. 4% of them, I don't even notice it. I'm just helping them with their problems, very matter of fact, you know. I'm not even realizing if they are or they aren't, probably still haven't realized it. But there are the ones that come and they just need, and even I feel like healthy people that aren't narcissistic can do this too, though. Even like an empath that's like really going through maybe narcissistic abuse can lash out at me this way. So there's like 1% of clients that will come to me. I would say not even 1%, but maybe 1 in 100. So that, and they're usually newer, you know, and they'll come to me and they just got to put all their stuff on me, you know. It's like whatever they're going through in their life, it's like I'm to blame, you know, because I didn't do something right. So it's like, or I couldn't change their person that's doing this to them. So it's easy, sometimes even if we're healthy people, sometimes we can want to blame people and we have to get ourselves out of that. And that's what readings and therapy is good for, is oh yeah, okay, I didn't see, I was getting stuck in a rut. Like even me, I might help a client go, or I watch a YouTube and go, oh, I see where I'm not taking responsibility for my things, or I see where I'm blaming myself for things that are not my responsibility too at the same time. If you are a vulnerable kind of caring person, sometimes you take on other people's things. So it's taken me a lot of years, I think, even just doing professional readings for people, to learn those boundaries of, okay, and actually it's because I'm more detached, because it's usually people I don't know until I read for them enough, that I don't take it very personally. He's the 4 agreements is never take anything personally. So I don't really take it. It's because it's so, like, if somebody's coming to me and they're in another country in the world, because a lot of my clients are, and they're attacking me out of the blue and I haven't even barely said anything, then I know that it's not about me. But I'm just saying that narcissists are everywhere. So, the more you can learn to be non-judgmental, but also not get entangled with them, is great. We can't just write off a huge percentage of our society and act like because imagine you are one. Like, that's where I kind of started with this. In a way, a couple things led me to it, but imagine I was one. Imagine I am one. I still have things to contribute to society, but maybe I wouldn't be, maybe I should be alone or be in therapy if I'm going to try to have a relationship, right? So I don't think, and that was kind of something Dr. Romney was saying yesterday. It's like, um, man, I don't think that it's like we can't just shut ourselves off from the world and isolate ourselves. 48 laws of power says that. Do not isolate yourself. And I've done that at times in my life to my disadvantage. So, if you're empath and you attract all these narcissists, shutting yourself off to the world isn't going to work. If you're a narcissist, being alone because you hurt people isn't going to work. Blaming other people isn't going to work. So it's like we need to recognize where we are becoming a victim to a narcissist, but also we can't be judgmental of them. We got to learn to work with them. We can't just write off a big portion of society, especially when that's probably the strongest engine in our society. So it's that fine line of like not judging them and working with them and not against them, but also not letting them hook into us. Right? Like having a shield of armor, like a thick skin. That's why, that saying, having thick skin. So anyway, so I'm just saying that it really made me go, okay, as much as we want to go, narcissists are bad, stay away from them. And yes, if you are entangled with them, no contact probably is where you're going to have to go, as much as you don't want to at a certain point. So these are the things I sort of philosophize about and think about, right, in my own brain. But you can still, and then they say, well, don't love them and don't have pity for them. Well, you can still have pity for them because they are who they are and still love them and not deal with them, right? But at the same time, you can have a client that's one. And yes, a lot of times the person that's attacking you maliciously is one. So it's like they start to feed off you. So it's like, and borderlines, I hear, will do that a lot too. Like they can like develop these weird idolizations with their therapist, but they're also out there and they're a big part of our society. So instead of blacklisting them, right? Like all the good people that aren't narcissists, blacklist all the narcissists. It's like, and not so much embracing them, but just understanding, knowledge is power, wisdom is power. So it's like the more you can educate yourselves, and that's the one thing that a narcissist isn't going to do. And that's how you can kind of go back to knowing if you are one or not. They're not, unless like they've gone through therapy or they, have really worked on themselves, they're not going to want to study it. You're not going to be able to teach them. That's how you can kind of know if you're dealing with one too. It's like, hey, why don't you, you're telling me these ideas. Why don't you actually read this book about it? Or why don't you watch this video? They're not going to want to do it. They're going to shut it down. So you're never going to change them and make them read the book, right? But you can accept them for what they are, which has been a big theme in my life, right? Like trying to change an addict or an alcoholic or a narcissist. It's like, I think it was sort of the same interview I was watching. It's like, it was something I was kind of YouTube binging last night, but it was something like you can't change people, but you can accept them. Oh, I think it was maybe like, I think it was a male speaker, but it's like, isn't it easier to, instead of getting with someone and spending 20 years beating yourself up trying to change them, isn't it easier to just like stay available and find someone you don't have to change? Oh, it was Butch Tarot. I like watching him. He's really, I don't get to watch him in like every video he puts out, but he is very good. So, Butch Tarot readings, he had like his Aries reading I was watching last night. He had like 3 really good insights. And I think one of the last ones was, instead of trying to change someone, right, which we all do, and then we fight with, the no contact thing. Like eventually some people, yes, we want to hold on, we want to fix things, but eventually we're going to just beat ourselves up and have to go no contact anyways, right? That's why it's better not to get entangled, but learn how to have those boundaries. But what if you find someone that you don't have to change? And that's a big thing about the Astrology Dating App. So my clients come to me, and moonmatch.love app, you guys come to me and I'm like, okay, well, you guys have all these challenges. You have all these deal breakers. So yes, you're going to spend 5 years. I even have a client, and I don't want to call her out because there's plenty of you like this. And even one of you guys that follows me on here, you have it in your marriage and you said that it's worked for 30 years for you. So, if you've got it to work, that's fine, and everything else is working. You shouldn't maybe break up with someone over it. But she's coming to me miserable, right? And she's going, should I leave? Should I leave? And I'm like, well, you do have Mars square Saturn, so it's like, you are married. He is committed. A lot of people are looking for just that. So then you kind of got to weigh what you want and what you don't want, right? And that's where you say, I know what I don't want. Now, what is it that I do want? And you let go and let God, right? I saw that also yesterday, and that, I knew I started need to let go. Like I'm holding on to things too tight, not in a controlling way, but like, what should I do? What should I do? Should I hold on? Should I let go? And it was like, oh, just let go, and the answers will come to you. So for her, she's like, should I go? Should I stay? Next time I talk to her, I should probably tell her, let go and let God. But I'm going, if you have Mars square Saturn with someone and you're miserable and you haven't found somewhat of a contentment, okay, that's where you go. You go find someone you don't have to change. So if you go to an astrology dating app like moonmatch.love, that matches you on moon compatibility and matches you on not having malefic deal breakers. Now you've already eliminated. If you go to match.com or eHarmony, now they match you on superficial things. So that's narcissistic to begin with. And so now you've got 90% of your matches are probably going to be narcissists because they swim in that pool and they fish and they got 10 of you. So now you got to work through a few months of figuring out if they're one of those. And then you finally meet someone really genuine. And maybe even they aren't doing that and you're both genuine. And now you get together. Now you got the astrology working against you. So you're only going to have it work for 5 years that you put all this energy in, even though you both had the best of intentions. Because sometimes, like I think it was her, one of my clients goes, why are they doing this to me? It's like, Well, they're just kind of is, they're trying to be good too. It's like if if it's not written in the stars kind of thing, it's like you could both really want it and have the best of intentions. The road to hell is paved with the best of intentions, as my grandma always said. So just because someone's screwing you over doesn't even necessarily mean they're a bad person. It could be this, it's not right. The divine has a higher plan for you. So that's why I just love the idea of the database, right? You're now eliminating, well, even if it is a narcissist, like I'm saying, if your astrology is good, you both could be narcissists with good astrology, and you have a better chance, right? Than being two good people with terrible astrology, in my opinion. So, long story short, go check out moonmatch.love. There are people in every state. We're not putting it in the cities yet because there aren't necessarily people in every small podunk town in America, okay? But if you are in America, you can search by state now. You can even search by country, and it will show you, like, if you search by the country, and like if you search by United States, and you don't even have to live in the United States to search United States, but just know, you can search global too. So you can search global and see if you have a match in the United States. But now, so it's like if you search country and you're in Florida and you pick country, you can still put in your zip code and everything. And the cool thing is you just put in your zip code and it will save your city. So when they do add the cities, it will be in there for you already. But go check out the new location feature, you guys. They've been streamlining it. So you just go to divinetimingdatabase.org or moonmatch.love. If you've already signed up like a long time ago and you don't remember how, because I know some of you like hit up admin trying to figure that out sometimes. I think Rose, you follow on YouTube a lot. You were kind of trying to figure out your password and stuff. And some of that was kind of messed up for a while. That's all fixed. So like if you forget your password, like all that, I mean, it's come leaps and bounds over the last 6 months, I want to say, with user friendliness. There was even someone that signed up like a month ago. It was a woman, and I think she's on here too, and I'm sorry I don't recall who, and it was struggling to get through, saying it's not user friendly and the Apple app's not on there yet. So I told her, because I was responding that day, I said I will write back. I'll let you know when we have the Apple app up. So that is coming out like in September. There's just like one more update that has to happen and the Apple app will be back out. So I'm going to be personally sending her an email. Hey, the Apple app's up now. See if you like that better, But so even in the last month, leaps and bounds on the user friendliness of it. So before too, you had to like register and sign up for the chatting part, and then you went through, and then you had to register again for the matchmaker. Well, now they got it all working in the background. So if you register and sign up for the membership, it already enters your username and all that into the matchmaker. So all you got to do is go add your birth details. So if you go in there and you get sign up for the silver membership, now it's free. It was never free before. It was $15. And for those of you who paid the $15 before, you're grandfathered in. So now you're $15, you get free chat for life. So you did good there. But if you haven't logged in a while, don't worry, because the new people that are coming in, it's going to be letting you know. So if you get an email, you have a match, then you need to go and log into the matchmaker. The link's in there, and you just use your like username and email. So don't be giving out your emails on there, you guys. But if you decide to connect with someone, that's just sort of a caution, I would say. Just I would give them your, just use the chat on there until you really trust them, and then I'd probably give them your phone number. Anyways, and they'll probably be doing that too at some point, like doing where you get a text when you have a match. But I know like there's different developers working on different parts of it. So, it is a time to sign up, because now you will get notified about updates and stuff. It's really exciting to me, because when you guys, and I say this all the time, when you guys are coming to me and it's like, you have Mars square Saturn, and I'm like going, oh, okay, you can spend 5 years on this, but if you're a female and your clock is ticking, I know you love him, but okay, if you're 50 and your clock's not ticking, then fine, spend 5 years, but don't purchase large assets, because you might lose them in a divorce. Okay. You might lose all your money. So anyways, all right, I am going to go, because I was supposed to only come on here for like 20 minutes today, and then we're going to read, like I said, Tuesday or Wednesday. I pinky promise, if I can't get on to read, I'll still pop in and say hi. So for those of you watching this in the playback that have been following along, you already saw it in the beginning of this. So we will be trying to get through the rest of the Outer Planet series a lot's happening. A lot's happening. I've got a new office space now. Just haven't totally decorated the walls yet. But if you, some of you, if you were my clients before, or even in the older videos, you'll see my little my purple little psychic couch here in the videos. So that's what I got it set up in this office. And like I said, one of the other rooms is for another trade of mine. So I've been just setting all this up. It's been a lot, but I know, you know, once I get in the groove, it's just, we'll be able to churn them out again. I'll be able to get on here more with you guys. So it's all, that's one thing I'll tell you guys too. In the, you know, free, unsolicited, free, you know, free reading from me, environment is so crucial. And I feel like, I don't know, maybe it's the Grand Cross in my birth chart. I'm always fighting my environment. Like the more I clean, the more messy it is. The more other crap is in the way that's not even mine that I'm cleaning through for people. You know, so I mean, it'd be a great career for me if I didn't always have to do it in my personal life, cleaning and organizing, right? A Virgo moon, but and like, but anyway, so your environment is so important. So even if you can just go print a Bang Wai feng shui map, which I should do a video on, and there's a great book about that too, which I can't think of off the top of my head, but you know, look it up. Feng Shui map. It's like, I just pulled one off. I got to make some fresh ones. So I read that book and it was like, if you have a cluttery area and you can't get to it and you put one of those Feng Shui maps in, it will kind of like X out the bad energy of the cluttery area and help you still have your life and your chi flow. That's Feng Shui. That's like Chinese. So, you know, even if I like to clean corners, so even if you clean a corner today, you know, and but environment is so important. So when I'm setting up my environment, I'm doing it for the greatest good, and I'm doing it for you guys too, so that I can get out better content to you, you know, better quality advice for you, for my clients, for you know, just the, you know, the, it's like it reminds me like kumbaya when everyone's holding hands. It's like if everyone does their part, you know, like I'm doing my part. So environment is a huge piece of well-being. So you guys, you know, if you're feeling kind of stressed, go clean out under your bed or clean your closet, right? And it might, that chi flow, it might just all of a sudden something good happens for you today. So that's a little piece of advice. Really, you know, keep your environment in mind at all times. All right, I know it's easy for us to get complacent about our environments, even me, knowing that. But it feels so good for me. And again, it could be the Virgo moon. If you got Virgo in your chart, you might understand how good it feels when your environment is clean. I mean, a lot of you understand that. But anyways, I'm going now because I'm just rambling. I'm really good at that. I'm giving my man a break from me rambling. Okay, all right. I'm sending you all lots of love, blessings, and light as always.